After Nintendo announced that they were working on a mainline Pokemon game for Switch a couple years back, we've had no choice but to sit anxiously and wonder what that could look like until a couple days ago when Nintendo and the Pokemon Company officially announced Generation 8 Pokemon Sword and Shield. While the presentation itself was only 7 minutes long, there's so much to discuss and be excited about. And before we get into the discussion, let me know in the comment section below if you plan on picking up Pokemon Sword or Shield, or both. I know a lot of people are waiting to see the version exclusives and legendaries before deciding, but personally, that doesn't matter as much to me because I enjoy connecting with other players and trading. In this video, we're going to be discussing 5 reasons to be excited for the upcoming Pokemon Sword and Shield. Number 1, the Galar region. Sword and Shield will be introducing a new region which seems to represent the countrysides of Great Britain at a first glance. The map looks enormous, and it seems like there will be a ton to explore, which is one of my favorite things about new Pokemon games. There appears to be a variety of different settings, from grassy plains to big cities to snowy mountains and everything in between. It's a bit early for rumors, but there has been some speculation that post-game will unlock Kalos because the two maps seem to match up pretty well. Again, this is pure speculation in the 3 days that the trailer has been out, but I know that Game Freak has been looking to break barriers and try new things with Pokemon games for a while now, but they've been pretty limited due to hardware. But this may be the game to do it. We should also keep in mind that in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you were able to return to the entire region of Kanto post-game, which is something that Iwata was able to cram into the game because he felt that players deserved more. But regardless, Galar looks like an epic adventure filled with a variety of environments to explore throughout the expansive region, and I cannot wait. But let me know what your favorite region is in the comment section below, and also let me know what you think of Galar. Number 2, the return of gyms. I'm all for franchises trying new things to break the mold when things get a bit stale, but Sun and Moon felt a little empty with the lack of actual Pokemon gyms. I think at the time we were a little starry-eyed at the thought of Pokemon changing up the formula, but after seeing them try it, I've kind of longed for a traditional Pokemon gym. Now don't get me wrong, the island challenges made sense for Alola due to the setting, but I'm glad to return to roots in Sword and Shield. In the trailer, we have what looks to appear to be a giant soccer stadium grass-type gym, which means that gym battles could be decided in front of a stadium full of people, which would be pretty intense. But with the return of gyms, I'm kind of expecting a total of 8, but we'll see if Nintendo decides to break that formula as well. But let me know in the comment section below, are you sick of gyms? Did you prefer island challenges, or do you want something completely new? Number 3, the return of wild Pokemon. I know this has been a huge concern since Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu came out back in November, and a lot of us wanted to know if this would be the format for catching wild Pokemon moving forward, or if we would get to return to roots. In the trailer, there doesn't seem to be any Pokemon walking around in the tall grass, which leads us to believe that we're going to go back to the way things were. As far as Let's Go gameplay for catching Pokemon, personally, I don't mind it as much as I thought I was going to. It was actually a refreshing change of pace, and it made the tedious effort of leveling up Pokemon a little bit less tedious. I'm glad that we're returning to battling wild Pokemon, and as you could see in the trailer, the trainer appears to be sneaking around in the tall grass, which is a mechanic that was introduced back in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but we'll just have to wait for more details. But what are your thoughts on wild Pokemon and how Let's Go approach them? Let me know in the comments section below. Legendaries and exclusives. We've got a new region to explore, new gyms, new characters, and with all of those things come new Pokemon and new legendaries. Now, we really haven't seen much yet, but I'm sure there will be a large amount of new Pokemon roaming around Galar, and I'm excited to fill my Pokedex for the first time in a long time. And there's talk that the legendaries will be offensive and defensive to kind of match the Sword and Shield versions, which makes sense and could be really cool in theory. Last up, we have new starters. Finally, the new Gen 8 starters. Before we wage a war in the comments section below, and let me know which starter you'll be choosing for your new adventure, let's talk about the 3 new creatures. First up, we have Grookey, a mischievous grass-type chimp that is full of boundless curiosity. Scorbunny, a fire-type rabbit that's blazingly fast, leaving fire in its footsteps, which seems like it could be a bit of an environmental hazard, but whatever. And Sobble, a water-type lizard Pokemon that appears to be some kind of chameleon by the way it emerges from the water, almost invisible. I have to say, this is the first time in a really long time where I've seen an equal split on support for all three starters. Just browsing the internet for the last couple days, it seems that there's love for all three of the new starting Pokemon, and that's really exciting. Obviously, this is only their first evolution, so that can 100% change when we find out what the actual evolution lines look like, but personally, I'm pretty torn on Scorbunny and Grookey. During the reveal, I was all about Scorbunny, but I've had the time to absorb all of the information, and I feel like I might start Grookey because he's adorable. As for Sobble, I feel nothing towards Sobble, though. Not to slander its name, but I can tell you right now that that's not going to be my starting Pokemon. But one thing Nintendo hasn't really done yet is deviated from the grass, fire, water starting types, which is something that I would definitely like to see in future games. And I'm not going to count Let's Go because you don't have a choice in the matter, but I think it would be really cool to start an adventure with the option of an electric type Pokemon or rock type or fighting type Pokemon or any combination of three different types. Now, this may be something that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company will never deviate from, but one can hope. But I've also seen some talk about how, and I'll use quotes here, the Pokemon design team has gotten lazy. But if we're being honest, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle aren't much to write home about in terms of design. That's right, I said it. If they were shown off as new starters today, I think we would have the same reaction. But those are my thoughts on the three new starters and the designs that we've got so far. But like I said, it could always change as we get more information. As a bonus, there are some mystery symbols scattered throughout the trailer that could be hinting at either the plot of the game and the unannounced legendaries. This could be some kind of ancient language, which would not be much of a stranger to a Pokemon game, as we've seen carved into one of these rocks or stone tablets. There's also an enormous crop circle-like figure on the hill, which could be a very primitive depiction of what one of the legendaries could look like. And there is a theory floating around that the Sword-exclusive legendary could be attacking Galar and the Shield-exclusive legendary could be the Protector, but that's just a theory. No, I'm sorry. While the Sword and Shield trailer revealed so much, it still leaves us with many questions and a longing for more, which I'm sure that we'll see closer to E3. Personally, some things I would like to see in Gen 8 are a post-game second region. Like I said, there's speculation that we may be returning to Kalos, which would be pretty cool, and without the previous hardware limitations, it could be possible. I feel like new game pluses or similar modes are becoming even more and more common, so I do think that it's possible. Quality of life improvements. Now, while Let's Go did some things that I'm glad aren't carrying over to Pokemon Sword and Shield, I would love to be able to access all of my Pokemon without having to return to a town every single time. And I think there were just a lot of processes that were streamlined that made the experience a lot more enjoyable. Last up, we have Robust Online. This one may be unlikely as Nintendo has never really cared about online, but some kind of online experience, let's say hypothetically special missions, challenges, or even tournaments could be a lot of fun. I don't think it'll happen, but if we're being honest, I'm just hopeful that one day Nintendo will get on board and they will offer some kind of robust online experience for a Pokemon game, and we're just going to keep our fingers crossed for that giant open-world Pokemon MMO that Nintendo surely knows about, and one day we will hopefully get. Again, I'll ask the question, what did you think of the reveal as a whole, and what do you still hope to see come to Gen 8 that is yet to be announced? Because I'm sure there are a lot of details that have still yet to be uncovered. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more about Pokemon Sword and Shield as we learn more, be sure to hit the like button and let me know in the comments section. If you like Nintendo, go hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, as I play a lot of Smash and cover other Nintendo games as well. But if you'd like to take it a step further, you can ring the bell so you get notifications when I do upload. There's links to my Discord channel in the description if you want to come be a part of our community. I stream a couple times a week if you'd like to come hang out with us there. But thanks for watching, and we will catch you later.